Hi everybody, just a quick update today to be able to show you how my preliminary exercises turned out and how it's leading me into my next step on our positive negative shape assignment that's leading toward making a personal logo. So I've been using essentially household object scissors of various types. And in this first vertical column, I've been playing around with the idea of either making the handles appear to be negative shapes or positive shapes. So when I'm filling them in with black, I'm thinking of them as solid against a negative space of the white background. In this area, I've filled in that space to make it feel as though there's a solid space behind them and these voids. Pretty direct, straightforward examples here. I tend to like the one at the bottom the most, personally. It starts to have a little more graphic logo quality. I've been playing around with the letters, numerals idea as well. So the first one that I showed you earlier takes the letter B and flips one backward so they can share a line through the middle and makes a C for my middle initial into a negative shape. Then I thought maybe it'd be interesting to zoom in on them. Instead of doing the whole letter, what if we just played with the negative spaces in the holes in the B letter and this empty space in between? I'm not as crazy about this one, but it was at least kind of an interesting idea of making the letters negative spaces against some kind of design logo element. And then I thought it'd be worth trying to play around with the idea of working with numerals. So in this design, I tried to pair up the number 6 so that it fit into this crescent at the bottom of the numeral 4. And then I turned the number 8 on its side so it could share a space with the bottom of the 6. Maybe not the most interesting, but it was an example of how to kind of layer and begin to connect those objects. The ones on this side are the ones that are a little more personal to me. So I was working with tools that we use in the printmaking studio, like the brayer for applying the ink is very much like this design here. We also sometimes use large-scale rollers for rolling ink out. They're kind of like big rolling pins, so you have handles on either side. And I thought I could make a negative shape of this carving tool in the middle of this. So my idea is ultimately that this area will be filled in as solid black, which will allow the tool to stand out as a negative shape inside the black shape of the roller itself. So that you can see where that one is headed pretty clearly. This example, though, I thought it might be interesting to try to pair up some of the tools, like this tool we call the rocker, with other tools that might fit into the negative spaces on either side of the handle. So in theory, I could make the tools here solids and the top of the rocker solid and leave this void as a negative space for the handle here. So that might be a way of combining some positive and negative shapes in an interesting way. But as I was thinking about moving from this into the project, one of the things that matters to me a lot is pets. And so I started drawing a quick sketch of a cat. And I thought that empty space underneath his chin beside his body would be a good place that I could maybe hide the face of a dog. So I started playing with that idea, and it seemed to be something that could work pretty well. So moving on to a clean piece of paper of the right size for the assignment, I started with a pencil sketch on a piece of mat board. And the sketch looks essentially like this. But I thought to really get the idea of positive and negative shapes going, I would cut these pieces out. And in fact, the mat board is white on this side where I did the drawing, but it's black on the other side. So if I cut out the shape of the dog's face, that negative shape now inside my cat. If I flip this over, it becomes a black shape that almost immediately creates the illusion of a solid dog's face being in that position. So if I add in a couple other elements, like we give him back his eyes, and a couple little details like space between the ear and the side of his head, we start to get a positive and negative logo design idea happening here, just through manipulating black and white paper or cardboard. So this is an idea that I could really take further. So I plan on using this as the beginning of a more in-depth piece. And that's what you're looking to do. So your preliminary exercises are to generate some ideas to get you thinking about positive and negative space. Hopefully in the personal column, the ones that relate more to you, you'll find something that is personal to you, relates to your interests, that would allow you to start playing with positive shape like the cat, negative shape like the dog's face, that could be evolved into a more finished example for your formal design project on shape. So I hope you enjoy playing around with this. Make something that's fun for you, something that's personal to you. Good luck.